had a few requests to show what is in my vegan pantry. And so today I'm going to show you a few of the items that I use the most. Hi, I'm Annette, a plant-based home chef and a volunteer with Bounty and Soul, where we connect, share, and celebrate nutritious food. We believe food is medicine, and we believe in the power of plants and whole foods. Now, I'm going to be showing you items in my pantry that I keep on hand. And this is not an exhaustive list by any means, but I do like to keep most of these items on hand at any given time. So it's nice to know that I can pull these items from my pantry when following recipes. I won't be showing you items like fresh vegetables and fruit that I keep on hand, or refrigerated items like tofu and etc. Today, I'm just going to simply show you all the shelf-stable items that I keep in my cupboards and in my pantry. And then later on down the road, I'll probably make a video on all the kitchen appliances that I use that make my life as a vegan much easier and all my food prep much easier. But today we're going to focus on items that you want to keep on hand and have so that you can build your recipes. And these can be broken down into 5 different categories. First one is going to be legumes, beans, grains, pasta, and flours. The second one is going to be nuts, seeds, fruits, and sweeteners. And the third one, spices. And then vinegars. The fourth one would be vinegars and condiments. And then the fifth one will be canned goods and packaged items. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is legumes and beans. It's always nice to have in your pantry a selection of different beans and legumes. I have some black beans that I always keep on hand. I also have garbanzo beans. I like to soak the garbanzo beans and then make hummus out of them. Black beans are great for soups, or you can even make like no-fat refried beans out of these and use them for Mexican dishes and all of that. So I like to keep a lot of different types of beans. You might have pinto beans, red and green lentils, and that's what these are. These are some red lentils and these are some green lentils, and I love the taste of lentils. When you cook the red lentils, sometimes they dissolve almost into, and they make wonderful soups and sauces out of the red lentils. And then another thing that you want to keep on hand are a lot of grains. So here I have some tricolor quinoa, and quinoa is really high in protein and it's really good for you. And I just like the colors of the different quinoa. You can make lots of different dishes out of this, like stuffing for green peppers and lots of other, salads and stuff. You can add these to your salads and things. Another good grain, or whatever you want to call it, to keep on hand is brown rice, and also white rice. But the brown rice I keep on hand because I like that brown rice better. I like the taste of it better. I also have some bulgur wheat, and you can use this kind of like rice in a lot of things. You can add it to soups and all of that, but I like to keep a lot of different types of grains on hand and use them. Then I have some wild rice, which I really like to. I don't use it as often as I do the brown rice, but there's different things that you might use, these recipes that call for that. And then in regards to flours, or let's talk about pastas first. I like to keep a couple of different selections of pastas. This is a red lentil fusilli pasta. I like to keep some of the more whole grain type pastas on hand. And this one is a brown rice elbow type pasta, and it's really good. When I make my macaroni and cheese, which you can find the recipe for in my cookbook, this is the pasta that I use for that. So I keep a couple of different types of pastas on hand. And then in regards to flours, this is called, and let me see if you can see, this is whole wheat flour right here that I have on hand. But I also have some vital wheat gluten on hand. And you can make meat substitutes from the vital wheat gluten, and you can flavor it, and the texture of it is like similar to meat. And when you get done cooking it and everything, it's wonderful. So I like to keep the vital wheat gluten on hand, as well as whole wheat flour. I also have some almond flour, and I also have some brown rice flour. Now, I have used brown rice flour in to make like gravies and sauces and stuff like that, something that needs to be thickened. And I like it. It's a very mild taste. The almond flour that I have, you can use it in desserts, or if you're baking goods, sometimes you use that. I've even made it with almond flour. I've coated cauliflower and put the cauliflower into my air fryer and stuff, and made like crispy cauliflower, kind of like a hot wings kind of thing, with some Frank's red hot sauce. And then one of my favorite flours is garbanzo flour. And you can make vegan omelets with this. You can make what are they called? Frittatas and things like that. It's a really nice tasting flour. I also keep a lot of old-fashioned rolled oats, and you can also actually grind these up and to make flours for your recipes, and you don't have to buy oat flour. You can grind it up yourself. So I have that, and last but not least, I buy organic soybeans online, and I make my own soy milk. So I buy my soybeans, and because I have a nice blender, it makes my own. I'm able to make my own soy milk and add nothing but water to it, no sugar, nothing else. You want some nuts and seeds? Huh? Do you want some nuts and seeds? So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about are nuts, seeds, fruits, and sweeteners. And I put it all together in that category because sometimes you'll buy like dates, medjool dates, and you'll use those as sweeteners. And so that's technically a fruit. But today I'm going to show you the items that I have in my pantry. And the first one I'm going to talk about are chia seeds. Now you can use chia seeds in a lot of different ways. You can use them to make puddings. You can grind them up if you don't like the texture of the little chia seed, pieces in there in the pudding. So you can grind it up and it will still do the same thing. But chia seeds are very high in omega-3s, and they're good for you. So, and they're gluten-free. And another thing that, a lot of vegan recipes call for are raw cashews. And so I try to avoid the cashews as much as possible because they're so high in fat, but they do make some tasty, creamy sauces, and so I do keep them on hand. Other seeds that you might want to have on hand are the, raw almond seeds. Here's some pepitas or pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds. You can make, sauces out of this. Out of sunflower seeds. You can grind them up and or soak them, and they'll blend up just fine as well. And some of the recipes call for walnuts. I like to keep these on hand. But one of my other favorites things are flax seeds. Now you can use flax seeds to make like a vegan egg in a recipe that it's calling for an egg. You can replace it with that, and they're very good. Now you want to make sure you get the whole ground flax seeds, because the whole seeds themselves will not be assimilated into your body nutritionally. It'll just pass through. So you want to get the ground ones, and they're really good. And you can use them in a lot of different things as coatings on foods and all of that. Now, let's talk about some sweeteners. I have discovered, coconut sugar, and I'm not a fan of coconut, the taste of coconut in general, but this sugar is good as far as sweetening and using it in desserts and things like that. So I'm not put off by the taste of this type of sugar for the coconut sugar. That's one type that is, a better type of sweetener. And then I also found some date nectar. Now, I mentioned earlier that you could use dates and other fruits as sweeteners, and a lot of the recipes are called for ground up dates, but you can, there might be times where you can use this sweetener, date sweetener, for your recipes as well. So there's that. And that's about it for nuts, seeds, fruits, and sweeteners. Next, I'm going to talk to you about spices. Now, we could probably talk all day about spices because there's so many of them, but a few of them that I really use all the time. The first one I'm going to mention is garlic powder. I don't get usually anything with salt in it, so I get garlic powder, and I have onion powder as well. And I use those in a lot of my recipes, or a lot of my cooking. One that I really like for different types of Mexican type foods or whatever is cumin. Love the taste of that. I get that. And another one that I've come to really like is turmeric. And this is good sometimes when you put it with tofu. It makes the tofu yellow, and you can make like a scramble, an egg, kind of a fake egg scramble with tofu, and the turmeric causes it to turn yellow. Another good thing, speaking of the tofu, with making it an egg type taste, is called black salt. Now, I said earlier I don't usually use salt in my cooking, but I will use it on my tofu like this. This has a very sulfurous smell to it and taste to it, and it tastes just like eggs. Honestly, it does. And it's called black salt, even though it's pink. You can look it up online, and you can order it there. A lot of there's also these bouillon cubes that I'll get once in a while and add them to maybe soups or something, if I want an extra taste or different types thing. Like this is a not chicken one, and I've added those as well. But let's see here. One of my go-tos is Mrs. Dash. Both of these, they don't contain any salt. One is chipotle, and one is just the table blend. And I use those on a lot of different things, like potatoes, standard things like rosemary. I do like Italian seasoning. I put it into my mashed potatoes and a lot of different, especially if I'm making something Italian, I'll use the Italian seasoning blend. And I use a lot of smoked paprika. This is the smoky taste of the paprika gives foods really a unique taste. I like that. There's just a lot of things that and one of the things that I just discovered is this roasted garlic spice, which I really like. It has a completely different taste than just the regular garlic powder. So I get the roasted garlic, and I really like that. Another one that I've discovered here is mushroom powder. Mushroom powder is really good in like gravies and soups and things like that. You can make your own mushroom powder if you get those dehydrated mushrooms and just blend them up in a coffee grinder or whatever. You can make your own mushroom powder. and they're really tasty. One of my favorites is nutritional yeast. Now I ordered this online, and but you can buy it in different brands and everything, and you can buy non-fortified or fortified yeast, nutritional yeast. But I ordered this online. I use it on a lot of different foods. Like I'll sprinkle this on pizza, homemade pizza that I made, or I'll make a sauce that have like a cheesy sauce with it. And I use it on a lot of different things. I add it to my mashed potatoes. I sprinkle it on a lot of different foods. So I buy a big container of nutritional yeast. I mean, I could go on and on about spices. We could talk about allspice, basil, bay leaves, caraway seeds, cardamom, cayenne, cilantro, cinnamon, cloves. I mean, you name it, there's a whole world full of spices. But today, these are the ones that I pull out and use the most. It's always good to have a variety of different vinegars on hand. This is some red wine vinegar. Here's some raspberry vinegar. And I have some, this is a Gilroy garlic, and it's made by California Balsamic, but it's a balsamic vinegar, and I've got a lot of different flavors from this same company. They're always good on salads and stuff, and you can add them to make interesting things out of your, sauces and stuff for your food. And here's some rice vinegar, I should say. And so these are, types of vinegars that I would use pretty commonly, as well as the apple cider vinegar. That goes into a lot of items there. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is liquid smoke. You can buy different flavors of liquid smoke. Like this one here is mesquite, but you can buy hickory and different flavors of the liquid smoke. And they're really good in making barbecue sauces or making things, taste like it's been grilled. So I like to keep liquid smoke on hand. The other thing I always have on hand is some kind of soy sauce. You can get aminos, which are lower in sodium, but this one here is organic soyu. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not, but anyway, it's one that I really like, and I use it on rice. I use it in soups. I put it on top of salads sometimes. That's just the things that I like to use it for. When you're making sauces and things too, it's always nice to have some tahini. Like this could go into garbanzo beans and mixed with garbanzo beans to make hummus, but you can make nice salad dressings with the tahini and other, blend other things with it and make really nice salad dressings and other sauces as well. And then to flavor, of course, we have like Dijon mustard and regular, I like the yellow mustard as well. And so mustards are good to have on hand, as well as when you're air frying or baking, no oil French fries, you can always use some ketchup. And I keep that. Now, there are different types of ketchups that you can get. You can get sugar-free, you can get no salt ketchup and everything, but I just go with the standard regular ketchup usually. And last but not least, one of my favorites, I put this stuff on everything. Frank's hot sauce. I love it. Make cauliflower hot wings with it. I put it on rice, or I put it on vegetables. I really like the taste of this. And so that is vinegars and condiments. On the top of the list in the category of canned goods is tomatoes. Anyway, I always keep some tomatoes in various different forms in my cupboard and in my pantry. Another thing to do to keep on hand too are canned beans. Now, yes, I have dry beans in my pantry, but I also keep canned beans on hand in case I didn't already cooked the dried beans, I can pull out a can of beans and I'll have what I need there. Another thing I'd like to keep on hand is some vegetable broth. This is unsalted vegetable broth, and I use it to make mashed potatoes. I use it in soups. I use it to make some gravies and things like that. So this is always a good thing to keep on hand. Another thing that I like to keep on hand is some sugar-free barbecue sauce. It just makes like even cauliflower taste great. Air fried cauliflower with barbecue sauce. One of the things that I've recently started collecting is using coconut milk. Now it's very high in fat, so I avoid it most of the time, but it does make some really nice creamy desserts. Like you can make some chia seed pudding with the coconut milk and add flavoring to it, and it's really good. And even though I said I don't like the taste of coconut, for some reason it doesn't taste like coconut to me. So this is something that I just recently had the guts to try because I don't like the taste of coconut. Another thing to keep on hand is some cocoa powder. You can add these to smoothies. You can add it to the chia seed puddings that you might make, and baked goods. And it's a dark cacao, so it's a little better for you. Now these are really small. I admit these are really small, but these are rice papers, and I like to get the bigger ones that are brown rice papers and make spring rolls out of them. But you can make spring rolls, and you can put, fillings inside of these, and you can make them out of that. And you can get these almost anywhere, in the Asian aisle of your regular grocery store, or if you do have an Asian store that you can go to, you can get all sorts of different rice papers in there. So now you have a better idea of what I have in my pantry. It's time for you to go stock your pantry and build it up so that you never have to eat boring or bland food. I want to thank all of my wonderful subscribers. Seriously, I want to thank you for subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Just go ahead and click the bell, and then you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. One more thing. Please be sure to check out my cookbook, which is available right now on Amazon. It's called Heart Healthy and Feeling Full Cookbook, and the link to it is posted below in the description. I just need you to go out and buy the book, and I'm sure you'll love the recipes inside. Thanks for watching. Join me each week here in my kitchen where I share plant-based, nutritious recipes with you. And I'll be seeing you at Bounty and Soul each week as I hand out the local produce and wish each one of you the best. In fact, check out Bounty and Soul's website. They have some great recipes there and lots of information for you. This is Annette signing off for now, and remember to invest in your health by eating whole, unprocessed foods.